Welcome to White Pill Media. I'm Dr. Infinity, and this week I'm going to talk about this TV show Sharpe. I had this show recommended to me, and I just wanted to give it a try, so I finally got around to it, and I really enjoyed it. So with this video, I'm just going to talk about some of the stuff I liked in Sharpe, and yeah, I'd like more people to check it out. I think it's really solid older TV. So a few things to begin with. This isn't going to be like a summary of like each episode. I'm just going to kind of point out moments I liked, and discuss them a little bit and the series overall. And there's going to be full spoilers and everything. If you are interested in the show, I'd really recommend it, and I would go in with like spoiler free. It's about Sean Bean, who's this soldier in the British Army during the Napoleonic Wars, and he's trying to rise through the ranks, and this show follows his exploits. It's really good. I really recommend it overall. And I'm going to apologize for some of the quality of the images and little clips and videos I'm going to show, just because I'm an American, so just getting these DVDs wasn't like really easy, because most of the ones I saw online were just like region 2. So I had to get some DVDs, burn them onto my computer, and then I had some burn discs I could either I could play it on my computer or put them in my DVD player. But just like the quality wasn't like super. I don't think it got decompressed or anything. It was just an older show, so it's not like 1080p or whatever, Anyways, so I'm just going to kind of, go episode by episode, discuss what I like in there, and then just sort of move on. First episode, I think like it's a fine start with Sharpe and his guys. They don't really accept him, and, there's some good conflict there of him and Harper and the rest of the men, and they have to watch their guys get slaughtered below, while they can't really do anything, because if they just jump in, they're also going to be killed as well. And I think that's a good way to like establish tone really early.
I want you to have my sword. Maybe if the men see you carry it.
They'll think I'm a proper officer.
No, they'll think I liked you.
Thank you, sir.
Bloody silly place to die.
On with just the violence we can expect, and that this is going to be kind of a grittier, war series. I like that. I like seeing Brian Cox as Hogan. He's there for the first and second episode, but I don't know exactly what happens. I think I heard he got sick, but we also lose that one guy in the rifles with the bandana. He's gone, and there are just some cast changes here and there, whatever. But after seeing the first episode, I was like, I was pretty into the series. Episode 2, we have like this really great, like nuanced character who's Captain Leroy, and he's actually an American who was a British loyalist. So he and his family ended up leaving the Americas after the Revolutionary War, and he does business in slaves, cotton, and molasses.
Fortunately, Captain Leroy has ample means to console himself during his exile.
Slaves, cotton, and molasses, sir. All melted down into golden guineas.
But we see him in the show as this really like honorable guy in this episode. He gives Sharpe money for the Countess.
Mr. Sharpe must pay the servants.
Hey, Mr. Sharpe. He dropped your purse when you was tussling with a young gentleman.
He's with the men when they're losing the colors. He charges across the bridge to help them. And Leroy is there at the end for this funeral scene. So it's like we have this guy who partakes in the slave trade, which is really bad. But a lot of people, or well, not everyone, but a decent amount of people did partake in that kind of thing. But he's just really honorable, overall, like, good man, And you really, like, if they ever did a remake of the show, that'd be fucking terrible. But you would have to make Leroy, like, cartoony levels of evil instead of just, like, a guy, a good, decent guy in the show. I liked Leroy a lot. I was kind of surprised by him. In episode 2, just them losing the colors because of, kind of their command structure's incompetency. And then we have Sharpe and his kind of suicide rush to get the Imperial Eagle. Really great stuff. Episode 2, like, really, really, we're just keeping the ball rolling for a strong start for the series. I like Sharpe and Teresa. She's probably, I guess I would say, like, best girl for the show, right? One thing that the show kind of does bother me a bit on is, like, Sharpe and, like, his tendency to just kind of cheat or just kind of sleep around a bit. But I guess that's just kind of his character. I don't know. I didn't really like it, but I understand, like, him not being a perfect little guy. But I don't know. I guess I just felt bad about it because, like, you like Teresa. You know what I mean? Right. Anyway, episode 3. Like, I really like Captain Leroy. And then Obadiah. Obadiah is fucking great. I loved him so much. Anyway, like, what makes, like, most series good is just, like, having just, like, strong writing overall, and there's all that, but having, like, really strong, like, kind of disturbing, like, fucked up villains that you want the hero to overcome and defeat. You know what I mean? Just having, like, a really good target for him. I think that's something that's, like, lacking overall in, like, more modern writing, where the villain should make the heroes kind of afraid, like, or we know that this guy is a threat and it's something that has to be defeated, and the characters take him seriously, and Obadiah is just, like, a really creepy guy, just talking to his hat.
You leave him be, Obadiah.
I've seen your wife's tits, Clayton. I means to lay my hands on them teats. Make no bones, but I will. Be warned, when Obadiah's up, he's up like an animal.
Like the image of all the bodies piled up in the breach in the wall, and just like, man, oh man, that'd be so fucking insane, to be one of those guys that has to go through the breach, but Sharpe's that desperate, he's that desperate to regain his captaincy and not have it taken away from him again. Episode 4, we have the mutineers. They're like British and French guys, just kind of whoever, and we have Obadiah again. I really like him. Yeah, he's still a solid guy. They kidnap women for ransom. I just like some of the scenes with them.
This one's yours, Colonel. But no froggy talk. One word in frog and she goes straight back to her cell. Talk English, like a Christian.
He reminds me somewhat of this character called, I'm not going to go in, like, deep spoilers, but there's this Western epic called Lonesome Dove. It's about some former Texas Rangers that start a cattle drive to start a ranch in Montana, which hasn't been really settled yet. And they have a villain in there. I'm not going to spoil it, but there's a villain in there that sort of reminds you of Obadiah, where it's just a threatening, kind of like creepy guy. And you can even see that on Sharpe's face at the very end, when Obadiah talks and you're like, holy shit, he's not fucking dead, and Sharpe looks a little afraid, there is that. And that just shows like how effective, and how much of an impact he has on our characters. That was really good.
You can't kill me. You can't kill me. You can't.
I liked Sweet William in this episode. Yeah, I like Fredrickson quite a bit. He's a solid character. He doesn't appear too much in the series, but when he does, he's good.
Tell me, Fredrickson, what do the lads really call you? Behind your back, I mean.
Sweet William.
I hate that Teresa dies. That was tough. That was not easy. And then Sharpe just giving his kid up. I don't know what happens. I know these are based on books, but I don't know what happens, like if he ever meets up with his daughter again, or what exactly happens there. But that wasn't easy. Episode 5, Sharpe gets accused of rape, and I think this is like an alright episode. We have Duco and that kind of stuff. There's this nice scene with Napoleon talking about Joseph, and
will withdraw, and Ferdinand will once again rule Spain. In return, King Ferdinand will promise to end the alliance with Britain, and the British army will be ordered to leave Spain.
Joseph likes being king of Spain.
I got for Christmas this big book on Napoleon. It's just kind of from his life to his death. And it was really good. I really enjoyed it. So that was nice to see a little bit of Napoleon here. One thing I do really like is this movie called Waterloo, and it's obviously about the Battle of Waterloo, but that's really great. It has these really epic battle scenes. It's like this massive amount of extras that took part in it, and I'd really recommend that. That's really good if you kind of like this type of stuff, I guess. But yeah, episode 5 was like fine. Episode 6, I would kind of label this as a bad episode. There's like this weird Aztec Spanish stuff, and I just don't really care too much. It feels a little too kind of fillery, where it's like nothing is kind of really going on. I don't know. I didn't really care for it. Whatever. Still like the series, right? In the 7th episode, we have these Irish-Spanish bodyguards. They're bodyguards to the King of Spain. And I'm not positive, but I think these are the descendants of the Flight of the Earls. And that happened after the 9 Years' War in Ireland and Hugh O'Neill and all that. And I'm not 100%, but I think that this is what it is. So that was cool, I like reading up on some Irish history. I'm not like really knowledgeable in it. I kind of just have like a general idea of what it is. That was cool. There's this fat guy in the show. I think he's in Conspiracy, and he's also in Rome as, and I haven't really seen Rome. I might, but it just sort of feels like HBO, like graphic nudity, and like here's some history in the background, but really here's a bunch of nudity and like blood, and I don't know. We'll see. But that fat guy's there. He has I'll probably show a clip.
Order of the triumvirate, during his residence here, all
mockery of Jews and their one God shall be kept to an appropriate minimum.
We have a good battle at the fort later on, and it was tough to see Perkins die, you know? And I guess that's just, like, good for the series to have me care about, like, our little minor characters. But that wasn't easy. Episode 8, Sharpe is going after to protect the Spy Master, and we're still in Spain. And when I started the series, I kind of thought, and this was a stupid thought in my head, but I thought it would take place in, like, all of the places that, like, Napoleon invaded or, like, did battles in, like Italy, like Germany, Russia. And I didn't even know that. But apparently, like, in the book I read, like, Napoleon and his guys, they invade Egypt, but their, like, navy gets blown up, so they're stuck in Egypt for, like, a fucking year. And I'm like, that was fucking great. That's, like, really insane, like, good history. And I kind of thought Sharpe was going to be more like a spy guy that's just kind of, like, trailing Napoleon or whatever. And yeah, like, obviously the show isn't that, but I still really like it for what it is, you know? So it was fine, but I didn't think we would spend so many episodes in, like, Portugal and Spain. I thought we would be moving around a little more, like, in Europe or whatever, but it's all right. So in the 9th episode, Sharpe has to go back to England, you know, because they need more men. The king he meets, I think this is King George III. It might be his son. I'm not super positive. And yeah, like, I think the episode's okay. You know, I'll probably show some clips from the training camp. And yeah, I sort of feel bad for George III. Like, he doesn't seem to be, like, a awful person from what little I've looked up of him. He seems like a good father, at least. Like, he and his wife, I think they had, like, 15, 16 kids, you know? And he didn't, and, you know, they still remain married. Yeah, I don't know. He seems like a decent guy, but a little out of the head, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Get it alive! Corporal, take this dog away and shoot it! He's scum! You! He's filth! But I will make you soldiers! Push down! Get it right! Left face! Right face! Left face! Left face! You filthy scum! Get those musket straps! You helpless, helpless boy! 10 more minutes!
In the 10th episode, I was so fucking confused that Duco was alive, because I'm like, we saw him die, right? We fucking saw Duco die. So that felt a little like Saturday morning cartoon-ish, but it was whatever. Yeah, I did not like this French girl in this episode where she helps Sharpe and the British. Like, she tells them to, like, burn or boil the oyster shells so that they can make lime. And this is used to, like, blind French soldiers. And it's like, those are your fucking people. Like, those are your men, you know? Those are your countrymen. So, whatever. I thought she was a fucking terrible person for that. Like, I don't know. Like, you don't have to hurt the British or whatever, but don't fucking, you know, help them kill your own people, for fuck's sake. Anyway, I also thought with, like, the plague and sickness going on in this episode, I thought there was some type of scheme where the French were trying to get Sharpe to bring back, like, disease to their main camp to stop the British army's, like, advance into France. I thought that was what was going to happen. It's not. That does not happen. But it's whatever. You know, I thought it was an okay episode. The 11th episode, I thought it was like whatever. I didn't really care about it. They're like, there's this Brand guy who's bad. Pycroft is a decent dude. You know, he's okay. He's sort of like Fredrickson, where he's like a little ugly and fucked up, but he's a nice guy overall, you know? And yeah, that was fine. Oh yeah, Sharpe is then on trial for robbing the Emperor's treasury, Sharpe's wife leaves, and we'll have that whole arc. I was really, really hoping for Fredricksen and this French woman to get together, because, like, Fredricksen's a nice guy, and he seems like a decent dude, and he has some rapport with this woman, but then he has to leave, and then Sharpe just jumps in again, and Fredricksen looks so upset. And it's like, God damn it, Sharpe. I was actually kind of mad about this. I don't know if he, like, in the books, he remains loyal to this wife where he wasn't loyal before. But I was just thinking, like, what's the point? You're just going to cheat on her like everyone else. So that was not great. I didn't really like Sharpe there. I thought Duco wins, right? He has all this money. He got away with it for the most part. But he just looks so bored and just, like, upset with himself that that was enjoyable, the one thing he doesn't want to do is succeed.
Giovanotte! Giovanotte! Volete giocare alle puttane? Allora fate avanti. Volete provare la vostra fortuna?
13th episode, Sharpe goes back to York to protect the mills. I don't really know anything about, like, conditions in, like, this time period. It seems fucked up, though. And the little scene with Sharpe's wife made me so mad. And she's good, and that's good writing where, like, a bad guy or a character you're supposed to dislike, like, gets an emotional response from you, So she did a good job, but, like, fuck, I was angry, just to see Sharpe kind of torn up like that at the end. And Sharpe has a brother, and that's whatever it is.
I thank God for the day he saved me from you. He's 100 times the man you ever were. He knows how to talk. He knows how to live. And he knows how to love. Your mother was a whore. You were born in the gutter. And that is where you still belong.
The 14th episode, Napoleon's back. The Prince of Orange, he's some famous actor. I recognize him from A Knight's Tale. I don't know where else he's from, though. But he's around. He's been in stuff. Sharpe gets to see Napoleon. His last two guys die. And then, we have this really good battle at this farmhouse. I think this is, like, the important farmhouse in Waterloo. Yeah. I should have paid more attention in the movie. But, for 14 episodes, like, really great stuff. There's some, like, weaker episodes, as I would call them. But overall, like, the highs definitely way outpace the lows. And it's really worth seeing and rewatching. I'm probably not going to see it, like, I don't know, maybe in a few years, right? But I'll just know, like, that's a good series to check out again. Sharpe the Legend. That's just a fucking, like, montage recap episode. That's really, once I kind of figured it out, like, after a few minutes where it's like, oh, they're not really going to show new stuff. It's just, here's Sharpe's exploits. I just kind of tuned out and just left that running in the background. And then there were 2 episodes that got made later on with like Sharpe in India. And I don't think these were based on books, like, not directly, because I know there's some, like, Sharpe books with him in India, but these aren't them, I don't believe. And they were okay. I'm probably not really going to review them just because, like, they were fine. I put them on, like, the lower end of the scale for the other episodes. Sharpe had, like, probably one of the best, like, ending theme songs in a TV show I've heard in a long time. God damn, that is really good. That's just really fantastic. Anyway, I review, like, some shit on this channel. It's just kind of, like, whatever. It's just kind of promoting, like, more decent shit instead of, I don't know, just kind of like outraged, like new Star Wars or superhero or whatever the fuck. You know, like watch something good, watch something decent. Don't be like angry all the fucking time. But I might check out Horatio Hornblower. I think it's basically like a guy in the British Navy is attempting to rise through the ranks during the Napoleonic Wars. So it's like similar to Sharpe, and I think Sharpe was based on it. And, you know, I'll probably check that out. I might give it a little time to space out like this kind of like period stuff. But good stuff. Yeah. Got some other shit on my channel, mostly shit posting and whatever. That's going to be it. Dr. Infinity out.
Oi! You know what they say?
What?
Vive la France!
Here's 40 shillings on the drum to those who volunteer to come to list and fight the foe today, over the hills and far away, o'er the hills and o'er the main, through Flanders, Portugal and Spain. King George commands and we all